Hello dearest, you're welcome to another exciting episode of Customs Duty, brought to you by the Nigeria Customs Service. In this week's package, Nigeria Customs Service sustains successes in first quarter 2025, collects 1.7 trillion naira revenue, rolls out practical technological solutions, among others. Also, Kirikiri Lighter Terminal Area Command surpasses previous revenue generation record in first quarter 2025. Other major reports will also come your way, including the regular Customs Hub segment, where we get you informed on issues that relate to import and excise duty collection activities for the week. Thank you for joining us. I am Hafsat Oreme Ibrahim. Please stay tuned, enjoy, and get informed. We will be right back.
Commitment and dedication of officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service to stopping entry of illegal goods through the nation's borders, enabling lawful trade, and securing vital government revenue in alignment with policy thrust of the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, has yielded the desired results, enabling the service to record enormous success in the first quarter of 2025. While briefing members of the media during the service's first quarter 2025 briefing, Bashir Adeniyi discloses that the service, as usual, has surpassed previous quarterly revenue generation record.
Services revenue collection for the first quarter 2025 totaled 1,751,502,252,298 naira 5 kobo. Against our annual targets, which is 6.58 trillion, the first quarter's proportional benchmark stood at 1,645 billion naira, achieving 106.47% of our quarterly projection. This outstanding performance represents a substantial 29.96% increase compared to the same period last year when we collected 1.347 trillion naira. These results substantiate our effective measures to curb revenue losses while streamlining compliant trade. The 29.96% annual increase and steady monthly collections confirm our strategies are working. We will maintain this momentum through rigorous enforcement and strengthened partnerships.
The Comptroller General of Customs maintains that the service's month-by-month revenue collection analysis remains encouraging, with the growth trajectory maintained across the 3 months in Q1 2025. Bashir Adeniyi maintains that the service has carried out robust anti-smuggling operations during the period under review.
We maintained robust anti-smuggling operations during the first quarter of 2025, recording a total of 298 seizures with a duty paid value of 7,698,557,347 naira 67 kobo. This represents 78.41% increase compared to the 4,315,162,568 naira recorded in the last quarter of 2024, demonstrating heightened operational effectiveness. However, when we compare this to the first quarter of 2024, whose figures stood at 9.5 billion, the service observed a reduction of 19.7% in duty paid value, which could be attributed to improved compliance through sustained stakeholder engagement and the deterrent effect of our enforcement activities.
He says, while rice, petroleum products, and narcotics remain the most prevalent seized items, the service has succeeded in making 3 high-value wildlife product seizures with a remarkable 5,653,522,600 naira duty-paid value, underscoring both the lucrative nature of this illegal trade and the Nigeria Customs Service's commitment to environmental protection under international conventions. He says also that other notable seizures include those of textile fabrics, retreaded tires, and pharmaceuticals. Looking at trade facilitation, which remains a core focus of the Nigeria Customs Service's operations, Bashir Adeni maintains that the service strives to continue balancing revenue collection and enforcement responsibilities with the need to promote legitimate trade. Hence, he discloses that during the first quarter of 2025, the service processed a total of 327,928 single goods declarations for imports, handling goods with a total mass of 4,910,640,283.33 kilograms and the cost, insurance, and freight value of 14,807,960,201,235 naira, which represents a 5.28% increase in the number of import transactions compared to the 311,492 SGDs processed in Q1 2024, reflecting growing confidence in the service's trade facilitation measures. Bashir Adeni intimates on what the service has achieved in export during the period under review.
In the first quarter of 2025, the service processed 8,153 export shipments, that is declarations, representing 6.4% increase from the figure of the last quarter of 2024, and the figure then was 8,710 SGD. But there was a decline of 24.4% from the first quarter of 2024. Despite the fewer number of transactions, the volume of exports reached 5.03 billion kilograms, which is a 10% reduction from Q4 2024, but a remarkable 348 increase from the first quarter of 2021 figure, which stood at 1.12 billion kilograms. The value stood at 2.51 trillion, showing a 19% increase from the last quarter's 18.07 trillion, remaining stable compared to the first quarter of 2024's 21.58 trillion. This data for exports clearly suggestive of Nigeria's accelerating shift towards bulk commodity exports, with significantly larger shipments being processed through fewer export transactions, while maintaining consistent total export value. And both of these are reflecting the changing trade patterns and improved processing efficiency in our export system. The total trade value handled by customs amounted to 36.3 trillion, demonstrating Nigeria's substantial participation in international trade despite the global economic challenges. This performance reflects our growing commitment to implementing trade facilitation measures that enhance our competitiveness in the global market.
The Comptroller General of Customs stresses that the service has achieved several significant milestones in its modernization and institutional development agenda, aligning with its strategic objectives and contributing to the service's overall mandate.
During the quarter, we continued the rollout of our indigenously developed customs clearance platform, Bodogu, expanding its operation to additional customs formations across the country. On 14th of February 2025, we officially launched the Authorized Economic Operators Program, AEO, a World Customs Organization endorsed initiative that recognizes businesses with strong compliance record and security standards. This program provides benefits such as expedited clearance, reduced inspections, and enhanced predictability in customs procedures for those operators that meet the eligibility criteria. And third is the launch of our Corporate Social Responsibility Program. This program is directly supporting presidential priorities and UN Sustainable Development Goals. The program's 6 pillars of education, health, environment, food security, social investment, and support for creative economy were activated with 2,000 students receiving 10,000 notebooks, 2,000 school bags, and 4,000 pens, while the school benefited from CCTV security system and solar-powered lighting.
Despite challenges which include exchange rate volatility, the implementation and subsequent suspension of the Financial Customs Service Operation, FCSO, also known as the 4% FOB, and non-compliance among others, Bashir Adeni maintains that looking ahead to what remains of the year, the service's strategic focus will center on two key areas, one of which is continuous modernization through further expansion of the Budugu platform, implementation of advanced risk management systems, and integration of emerging technologies. The second key area the Comptroller General of Customs reveals is service delivery enhancement, where the service remains committed to delivering quality services to all stakeholders, with emphasis on efficiency, transparency, and professionalism.
This commitment will guide our resource development initiatives, procedural reforms, and stakeholder engagement strategies. These strategic priorities align with our long-term vision of becoming a fully modernized customs administration that facilitates legitimate trade while effectively securing the nation's borders and optimizing revenue collection for national development.
Bashir Adewale Adeni uses the medium to express gratitude to officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service for their dedication, professionalism, and hard work, while also acknowledging the support of the federal government, particularly His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Olawale Edun, for their guidance and enabling environment that have facilitated the Nigeria Customs Service's operations. He also appreciates the trading community, partner government agencies, and international partners for their cooperation and constructive engagement. The fact that the implementation of Budugu as Nigeria Customs Service's unified management system is continually succeeding, and that the service maintains commitment to its further enhancement cannot be overemphasized. Considering these, the Port Terminal Multi-Services Limited (PTML Command) sensitizes stakeholders on continuous successes of Budugu, while notifying them on the Command's achievement of integration of the Budugu portal with Form M and Pre-Arrival Assessment Report (PAAR) documents. In his remark, Comptroller Tenny Daniel discloses the aim of the sensitization.
We are here to introduce or to sensitize us again on the issue of PAAR and Form M. As update comes, we will carry people along. You will not be left in limbo. So we are bringing it to your doorstep again by organizing this. We know some of you had challenges. As you all know, it took us time before we are rolling out the PAAR. Some of the challenges we have been telling you. But we thank God, because of perseverance and everything, we are able to start rolling out PAAR from the Budugu.
He uses the medium to underscore the significance of Form M, which refers to monitoring form.
When I see your Form M, I should know what is your container. What is your container? I should be able to calculate, when I look at the value you have entered, against the total sum entered into your Form M. I should know. And I will correlate it with your weight, correlate it with your PAAR. I will now know whether you are in the right track.
Comptroller Daniel further highlights the significance of PAAR.
When you look at a PAAR form, it gives you everything you need to know about your job. You see the declaration, whether there are remarks column, whether you have cheated, the updates, the upgrade, your value. You see the HS code and everything. So amount you should pay. But it has some components, which means your Form M must be part of it. So now that we are integrating these two key financial transaction part of Nigeria Customs to Budugu, we thought it wise that we should have a talk with you people.
Resource persons take participants through the nitty-gritty of the use of Budugu as they further educate stakeholders on the possibility of opening Form M without necessarily going to the bank, a development which saves time, energy, and money. Hence, enhances ease of doing business. Comptroller Tenny Danian also uses the medium to reiterate successes recorded by the command in revenue generation since deployment of Budogu in November 2024, when it was flagged off by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, with collection of over 196.5 billion naira. Kirikiri Lighter Terminal Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has, on account of meticulousness and strategic efforts in combating smuggling, among other measures, has recorded an upward increase in revenue collection in first quarter 2025 when compared to the same period in the previous year.
The command generated a total sum of 38,105,987,915 naira. That is for the first quarter of 2025. When compared with the first quarter of 2024, which stood at 23,668,056,535 naira. This clearly shows a progressive difference of 14,437,931,385 naira. This represents 61% increase over the first quarter of 2024.
Comptroller Joy Adeldo highlights the command's exploits and enforcement within the period under review.
In the area of anti-smuggling, officers and men of the command do not rest in their duties of enforcing government fiscal policies and other trade guidelines. Thus, the command made a total seizure of 9 40-foot containers of expired drugs. These seized items contravened some of the provisions of the extant laws, as enshrined in the Nigerian Customs Service Act of 2023.
She emphasizes the command's commitment to stakeholder engagement in carrying out its assigned duties.
The command has maintained its open door policy, which fosters positive relationship and promotes compliance among the stakeholders. A lot of issues of common interests have been resolved, and concerned stakeholders have gone home happy, knowing that we have an open door policy where we attend to issues, we bring up resolutions, and we forge ahead.
As she takes members of the media around some of the intercepted items, the Customs Area Controller uses the medium to hand over the intercepted pharmaceutical products to National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, signifying existing collaboration between the service and NAFDAC. With diligence and commitment to service delivery, Harcourt Area 2 Command ONE has recorded successes in all of its areas of operation. Comptroller Mohammed Babandidi reveals to members of the media during the command's first quarter briefing that the command which he leads has surpassed previous revenue generation record.
From January to the end of March, this command collected 190 billion, 569 billion, 212,397. Compared to last year, which we collected 162 billion, there is increment of about 17.12%.
He discloses that exports through the command has also been a success.
The command treated export worth 2,345,268,000. The volume of export stand at 1,274,000 metric tons.
In the area of suppression of smuggling, the Customs Area Controller stresses commitment to freeing the nation from influx of illicit items, a commitment which sees the command intercept a total of 20 containers of different items within the first quarter of 2025. The items include codeine syrup, soapy tomato paste, cooking oil, and pregabalin capsules, among others.
These seizures are a product of courage, bravery, high level of integrity, and also collaboration between sister agencies. The duty paid value of these containers stand at 10 billion, 293,677,40 naira.
In anticipation of deployment of Budogu, Comptroller Babandede says his command has trained stakeholders on the Customs Unified Information Management System in order to understand the modality of its operation for efficiency in the clearing procedure and better revenue collection. As it intensifies efforts at suppressing smuggling through the Western waterways, the Western Marine Command has again recorded huge success as it intercepts items with a combined duty paid value exceeding 702 million naira in first quarter 2025. The items intercepted include 3,856 loaves of cannabis sativa, 704 bags of smuggled rice, and 392 bottles of codeine syrup. The most recent interception by the command is that of 1,452 loaves of cannabis sativa, which forms part of the total items seized.
The recent operation by one of the command patrol team on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, around 0230 hours, while acting on intelligence, proceeded to Mupo Beach, where they found a set of smugglers trying to offload already packaged sacks of cannabis sativa from a wooden boat having a 40 horsepower HP Yamaha outboard engine to land. On sighting our officers, the smugglers fled, leaving their boat and the seized items, which our officers quickly secured and brought to the office. That is including the means of conveyance, that is both the wooden boat and as well as horsepower engine.
Comptroller Paul Bamisei displays the Nigeria Customs Service's usual interagency collaboration stance.
Of collaboration, synergy, we have to hand over this just 18 jumbo sacks of cannabis sativa, otherwise known as marijuana, our able commander from the NDLA.
5 suspects have been apprehended in connection with some of the seizures made.
Hello and welcome to the segment Customs Hub on Customs Duty. This is a segment that summarizes some of the activities of the Nigeria Customs Service regarding weekly revenue generation from import duty, excise duty and other levies. We take a look at the total number of pre-arrival assessment reports issued and revenue generated from Friday 22nd of April 2025 to Thursday 25th of April 2025. The total amount of pre-arrival assessment report, also known as PAAR, issued for the week amounts to 3,132. The Nigeria Customs Service generated a total of 130,905,062,158 naira in revenue for the week. On excise duty collection, the Nigeria Customs Service collected the sum of 245,734,253 naira. That is all for the segment Customs Hub.
This is where we end this week's episode of the program. For more information, you can always follow us on our social media handles now being displayed on your screen. You could also visit our website at www.customs.gov.ng for more updates about the service. Don't forget to shun smuggling and always pay the correct duty. Let's endeavor to make Nigeria a more prosperous nation by striving to be compliant traders and patriotic citizens. See you same time next week. I remain your anchor, Hafsat Oreme Ibrahim, saying bye-bye.